should go live soon. Once we are live on all the platforms on Facebook and Twitches and
Okay.
YouTubes.
Are you using something like Restream or something?
Yeah, we're using a Restream.
Oh, okay. Cool.
All right, we're live. I'm going live on Zoom. And it looks that we are live pretty much everywhere. Guys, so this is the first webinar of 2020. This is gonna be so exciting as usual, and I'm here with the guy. I really didn't know how to pronounce his name, so he told me just call him AB. And AB is a co-founder of GreyMetrics, a tool we'll be launching really soon on PitchGround. We'll be going live exactly on January 14th. So guys, if you are considering this tool, or maybe if you don't know what GreyMetrics are, you need to stick around because we'll tell you everything, how it works. And this thing, this webinar series, what we are doing here, it's called Marketing Reports Reinvented, turn a boring activity into a fun experience. So if you own a marketing agency, if you're a freelancer working in the marketing industry, you know that creating these templates can be quite frustrating. It's boring activity, but this guy came up with a solution how to make it fun, how to make it amazing, and he will introduce you to the solution on the next few days. So we are doing it today, tomorrow, on Monday, and on Tuesday, which is launch day. So you need to stick around. If you want to get more information, just go to greymetrics.heysummit.com and make sure that you will check other webinars as well. I see people are joining too. Fred, Jeremy, I think Jeremy is a typo. It should be maybe Jeremy. So anyway, nice to see you all, guys. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to ask us below in the comments. We'll be checking it all and we'll be answering the questions throughout the webinar. Replays will be available everywhere. If not, just reach out to me on Facebook and I will send you the link. But now without further ado, AB, introduce yourself a little. You're not actually coming from a tech background. You're coming from surprisingly different background. So tell me your story. What was it about? Like, tell me your background and tell the background to all PitchGrounders who are watching.
Hey, PitchGround. Thanks, Jakub, for introducing me. So, hey, PitchGround. Nice to be here in 2020. Thanks, Jakub, again. So, my name is Abhishek. That's how it's pronounced. So, again, if you can't pronounce my name, you can always call me AB. That's absolutely fine. So, I'm actually a doctor. I studied medicine in one of the best medical colleges in India. I didn't feel like continuing in medicine. I just joined a corporate sector. I worked in a health insurance company, an international health insurance company, for 5 years. I was the operations manager there. I managed a team of 60 plus people, handled an account of $100 million. Post that, the startup bug bit me, and then I joined a startup. I've co-founded a startup which didn't really work well, and that's where I learned my lesson. And then me and my co-founders together, we started an agency to basically solve this problem for other startups. That's how we got into this agency business. And then during the agency business is when we actually found out how difficult it was to actually generate and send updates to the clients. And then, we tried multiple services, we tried multiple tools, and then we realized that it was actually pretty difficult. There wasn't a solution which would actually make my life easy. It was actually making me do more work. So then we realized that, no, hey, this is the problem that we need to address. Like, we need to take this hands-on. We need to address this right away. And that's how we came with this idea of GreyMetrics, to make it super easy and simple for marketers to generate reports and dashboards and send it to their clients. So that's about me, and that's a little bit about GreyMetrics. And my name is Abhishek. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I really like the story because your background isn't from tech, but the way how you came up with the GreyMetrics is actually very usual thing how a lot of successful tech products are built, because as you probably know, we work usually with products for marketing agencies, and it works like that they are facing some problem in marketing agency and they build a tech solution and they are slowly start transform into SaaS company. So that's how it's usually done with our founders. But anyway, today we're talking about marketing reports today, and we were a little cocky with the name, and we are saying that you are doing it wrong. And in fact, you might be doing it wrong. And we will show you the current ways how you're doing it. And it's okay, you probably don't know any better, but we'll just want to point out the things that are being done today, and tomorrow we'll be talking how to change it, how to transform it, and how to make it really working for you. So AB, if you could please share your screen, and
Right.
let's dive into the presentation. Guys, if you have any questions about this topic, please let us know in the comments, and we'll be answering everything.
Hey guys, can you see my screen?
Oh, yep, I do. Hello,
Okay.
Christian, nice to see you.
So this is a basic introduction to the marketing reports. How, I mean, like Jakub said, I mean, you might be probably doing it wrong. So let's just analyze what marketers are doing currently. I mean, that is today, and then let's try to see this problem. So you are generating marketing reports today. So there are more platforms today than you can count. I mean, there are like tons and tons of platforms that you actually advertise today, and there are more and more platforms that are actually coming up. But the first important thing that you should look at when you look at marketing reports is that, are you reporting on more metrics today than you were reporting a year ago? The answer is most likely going to be yes, because you are reporting on more metrics. The metrics are only going up. Are you using more platforms today than you were using last year? Again, the answer is going to be yes. I mean, you're good. I mean, people are starting with Quora ads. They're doing all kinds of stuff today. I mean, there's more chances, the more platforms, people are more diversified today. And the number of platforms are also increasing. I mean, that's another thing to consider. And let's just consider this concept of having an agency and you have multiple clients, and the number of metrics are increasing. The number of platforms that you experiment with are increasing. You just look at the problem, and it's only going to get more and more complex. I mean, there's no coming down on it. I mean, these metrics are going to go up. The platforms are going to go up. Your clients are going to ask for more stuff. You have more clients. This is a big problem for you. So that's how you look at it. And then again, if you have like 5 people on your team working on reports or working on different clients, how do you guys share access credentials today? That's another problem that comes to the fore when you are actually marketing on various platforms and you have a team of people that are actually working on different clients. So these are the first important problems that you are facing today when you are working on marketing reports. So Jacob, I mean, do you have any points to add? I mean,
for me, I mean only generating about Facebook ads because there are so many different metrics you can track. It can be tricky, but not only because there are so many metrics to track, but you need to translate them into language that your customer will understand them, which is usually the tricky part, right? So
right.
that's what I didn't like about reporting to my clients, and I actually did all things to outsource it in any way. So, so yeah, I'm really eager to hear what I will learn here.
Cool. Let's go to the next one. So this is the big revelation. I mean, so we are living in the age of data, but let's put a number to it. 90% of all the data that has been created on this planet has been created in the last 2 years. That's an astounding number. I mean, if you just look at the data that we've created in the last 2 years, I mean,
It's crazy.
I would bet no marketer would say that we're going to create less data in the next year. That would not happen. I mean, I think no marketer would say that. I think if someone said that, they would probably be in a very small minority. So I mean, let's look at what consumers are doing today. Consumers are watching more content. Consumers are watching more videos. More people are getting connected to the internet. I mean, developing nations are coming through. More markets are opening up. Your average usage per day has gone up. Imagine, I mean, if 90% of the data has been created in the last 2 years with the advent of 5G technology, the speeds that are going to come through on mobiles and the speeds that are going to come through on every device, it's going to be humongous. These improvements are going to only pump in more and more customers onto the internet. More and more people are going to be hooked about it. So that's another thing. Faster internet means more data will be consumed and more content will be generated. And here's the trick part. I mean, now that so much content is being generated, I mean, who's the end customer for this data actually? If you ask me, there are two types of people. I mean, one is the IT department. I mean, they want to make sure that everything is working fine, nothing breaks. Because I'm not an IT guy, I mean, I'm just going to say that no, that's not me. And I'm going to come to the second part. That is a marketer. I mean, how do you make sense of this data? I mean, how are you going to use this? How are you going to turn this? How are you going to report this? And how are you going to use this information to get more customers tomorrow? So this is the big question that we have to answer, or we have to be prepared for in the future, that more data is going to get created, more devices are going to get connected. How do we manage this problem? I mean, how do we tackle this a complex problem? This is the question that most marketers are struggling to answer today, and that's where we are today. So Jakub, I mean, anything you want to add on this?
I think this is quite self-explanatory. Though. Like,
Okay.
yeah, I agree with you. Like, it won't slow down. There's no way.
Okay. Awesome. Let's move to the next one.
Sure.
Again, I mean, more and more data needs to be analyzed. I mean, let's just think about the devices that we've got today. I mean, everybody's got more devices coming in. I think you're wearing a smartwatch, you have a Google Home or an Alexa at home. You are going to get new devices, IoT devices, smart devices. More data is going to come through. And although this is not useful information for us today as a marketing department or as a marketer, look at it from a future standpoint, that all of these platforms are going to go have apps. If you just look at it, I mean, you can actually create apps on Google Home and Alexa. So at some point in time, marketers are going to take this into consideration, and these are also going to be one of those areas that are going to come through. So as more data comes through, the complexity of reporting only goes up. So this is something that how do you analyze data across all of these multiple platforms? This becomes a big challenge. And let's imagine this scenario where more businesses are actually investing on ads. More businesses are actually doing online marketing. So the competition is only going to go up. And when the competition increases, I mean, the spending needs to be analyzed properly. Every dollar has to be accounted for. And that's when this becomes more and more important. The marketers will go to where customers are. So, and as more marketers flock to that market, the prices are going to go up, and every dollar is going to be very, very critical out there. And then we always have this problem of manual reporting, and it's just so much of it's so prone to errors. It's just very risky for a marketer to take all of this and do a manual stuff here, especially when the competition is going up and every dollar matters. It's going to get more and more complex out there. So typically in an agency scenario, I'll just try to give you a personal experience on what happens actually in an agency. I think most agencies can probably relate to this. Typically, if you have like 3 different folks or 4 different folks working on different stuff, like one is working on the SEO, one is working on the social media part, and someone's taking care of the Google ads. If you really want to send this information to a client manually, what you typically do is you just pull out the data, put it up probably on an Excel or probably on a Word that is shared generally. And then, something goes wrong. Someone pastes the wrong data. Someone just pulls out the wrong data. And then that blame game actually starts. And this is so much of a drain on resources that I'm sure a lot of agencies can resonate to what I'm saying. If they are doing manual reporting today, and this is something that I can actually easily resonate to. So that's something that most marketers have to be wary of. That more data, more complexity. So, hey, are you making notes or?
I'm communicating with people who are
Okay.
chatting.
Okay, cool. So what do agencies actually think? Let's forget what I say. Let's forget what Jakub has to say. Let's forget what PitchGround has to say and GreyMetrics has to say. Let's say what the agencies actually have to think. So Marketing Land actually ran a survey in January of 2019, and they think that like every 2 out of every 3 agencies, more than 2 out of every 3 agencies, 72% of them, to be exact, feel that they need to invest more on data analysis. So I think this trend is very clear. I think I think, it's just not one, two, three, or I think there's so many data points that are coming up right now that point to the same direction that it's very hard to miss from here on. So I think, if so many agencies in this survey think that they need to invest on more data analysis, it's just because of one reason, that they understand that this is only going to get more complex. This is only going to get more and more sophisticated. Here is why I think the role of marketing is actually changing. At some point, the role of marketer used to be to run ads, but I think, the more people that I speak with, especially in the enterprise segment, the marketer role is actually changing to a marketing technologist. So you need to know a little bit of a marketing, and you also need to know a little bit of a technology. So this blended role of a marketing technologist is actually coming up, and that's one of the reasons why these agencies feel that they need to be ready for the next decade that's coming up. And again, I mean,
What size of the agency are we talking here?
you can talk about any agency with like 5 clients.
Okay.
You can talk about the agency up to 100 clients. More than 100, probably, I think they will probably need
Some
a
custom
more
solution maybe.
custom solution. Yeah, I think up to 100, I think we can manage that. So if someone has more than 100, I think, yeah, sure, we can talk about a custom solution. But yeah, I mean, let's just talk about what the agencies actually do. I mean, it's very clearly reflected in the way that they are spending, and how that the thought process of an agency is clearly visible in where their dollars are actually going. The dollars are actually going to more and more dollars are actually going to data analysis. So that's kind of an indication there that, hey, you guys need to buckle up right now, because the next gen, you don't want to miss the bus. That's a very simple statement if I have to put it in one word. Okay. So anything on this, Jakub? I mean, you want to add anything? You want to question me on something?
No, my question was really what's the size of the agencies that should be investing into data analysis? Because I think a freelancer or maybe freelancer with few virtual assistants don't really need like these analyzing all these data and so on, right? What do you
Yes
think?
and no. I think yes and no. I think a couple of use cases that I've found, I mean, especially with a lot of pitch grounders and otherwise, I've found that a lot of business owners actually have this problem that they actually need the data, but they don't have the visibility to the data. So there is this a separate segment of business owners that actually want to keep track of their data, but they have no idea how to use a Google Ads account, or probably how to read data from a Google Analytics account, or probably from a Facebook ads account. So this is where I think we found that a small segment of business owners who want to know more about what their marketing is doing is one of the segments that we've found that actually has a lot of value in this.
Cool.
Okay, cool. We'll move to the next one. Again, let's not talk about what GreyMetrics says and what PitchGround says. Let's talk about what the data says. So more agencies feel that they have to spend more on data, metrics, and analysis. I mean, it's just look at how many people have responded to this and said that they are already investing dramatically. They've increased their spending dramatically in the past just 5 years. I mean, let's just imagine. I mean, if 90% of the data was created in the last 2 years, and the agencies have dramatically improved their spending in the last 5 years, imagine what's going to happen in the next 5 years. So this graph is going to go like the whole thing is going to be like all red. Like 95% of the agencies and in-house marketing teams are going to be like investing heavily on all of these stuff. So like, I mean, like the data is pretty clear. I think there's crystal clear data that shows that most agencies and most in-house marketing teams now have a lot of focus on uh, to invest on data and to analysis and to track metrics. So this is like done and dusted, and I think we've beaten this point to death, that this has been multiple times now, multiple data points, multiple proofs that more and more investment is going into this field. Anything on this, Jakub? You have anything?
I'm considering like is this survey made only with marketing agencies or is it with overall like any companies in an industry?
Right. So if you look at the graph, actually, there's like two different parts out there. One is the agency. I mean, 68% of the agencies have dramatically increased their spend on data and metrics. The second one is the in-house. The in-house is the in-house marketing teams that
Yeah.
actually take off this marketing work. So you can see a very clear similarity in both of those patterns. I think it's very hard to miss that. So it's going like, hand in hand. I think both the marketing teams in-house as well as the agencies have ramped up their spending. So I think if you see
Can,
it
can,
only
can,
as in, yeah, go ahead.
can you tell me like specific like products or services exactly they're using, like they're spending money on to analyze these data, like what they're spending this money on?
Hey, so a couple of things actually. One of the things is, to put this data together, that's the first thing. And to actually track it on a long-term basis, that's the second thing. And to make sense of it is a third thing. These are the three different areas that these guys are, most of the agencies and the marketing teams are actually investing money on. So
Got it.
these three parts, clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
All right.
awesome. Awesome. So moving on.
Yep.
So let's talk about our common problems. We do a lot of manual reporting. Most agencies can resonate with what I'm saying. Putting data together on a Word or a PowerPoint presentation. We've spoken to at least 25 to 30 pitch grounders and a 50 odd agencies across the globe. And then this is something that has resonated with a lot of agencies. I can say 8 out of 10 agencies resonated with this a concept of manual reporting. They put something on a Word or a PowerPoint presentation and send it across to the clients. Again, this is inefficient. We've clearly seen how the trend is moving towards more analysis and more automation in this case. So manual reporting isn't going to help you. Excel reports, like I said, most agencies will understand this. A shared spreadsheet and everybody putting their metrics in. And when it comes to the time of reporting, someone messes up something and it just the blame game goes on. So it's not worth wrangling with data on a spreadsheet. I think as you see, the trend is going towards more data and more complexity. I think it makes no sense for agencies to go through these kind of problems.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
so are there like any other ways? Of course, like there are tools, for example, GreyMetrics or something. But if you would choose like manual reporting, Excel reports, is there something else that these agencies use to create reports than these two methods?
There are a few. I think if I just go ahead and
Right.
show you these
Okay.
two, there it is. So what most agencies typically do is if they don't have the time, typically what they do is they just pull out screenshots. They just use a snipping tool, pull out a few screenshots and just put it on one by one, and then I think that's where the problems actually start. I think it leads to more questions than actually answers. So I think it's counterproductive to most agencies. So
That's
that's
true.
one. And
I was doing it with my clients, and I was not only like sharing screenshots, but I was always like interpreting the data there as well. So I would write a short paragraph about like what they're seeing and what impact it has on their business. So I think some people are not doing even that they will just share the data and let the client like understand by themselves, which is like horrible situation to be in as a client.
yeah, especially, if you think that, there are going to be more agencies, but guys, I think let's not have no two doubts about it. There are going to be more agencies. I think, we're going to be competing in a very competitive space. I think it's important that, most agencies find a way to differentiate themselves. I think because of the way the service industry runs, a lot of it has to do with how you present yourself at the end of the day. So I think it makes more sense for an agency to be able to do all the hard work. It makes no sense for an agency to do all the hard work and present the entire month's work or a week's work in a really, really, really bad way. That's going to, that's going to, uh, that's going to screw up their reputation. If I had to put it
Yeah,
that way.
that's true. That's true. Especially when reports are usually, except like the one-to-one interaction with the client, are usually the only feedback that these clients get. So this feedback should be presented in a way that it actually works. And of course, the feedback should be the results too, right? That the agency brings. But yeah, I think you got a point here.
Right. And then, let's talk about what happens after all of this. And I think, if you do an Excel or a screenshots and all of this, there's a lot of inconsistency. You send one kind of a report to one client and another kind of a report to another client, and then you have no control over what happens in the business per se. So I think, this inconsistency again, this is a vicious cycle. I think, it leads to more resource drain in the agency than actually solving the problem in the first place, which was actually the role that it was supposed to do. So these are the different problems that most agencies face. I think I think guys, I think it would be better off if you are facing any of these problems. I think we want that these are not going to help you scale up. I think these are probably the few things that are actually pulling you down. These are the things that are actually stopping you, or letting you down, or
Mm-hmm.
uh, not letting you upsell to the same customer or get a new customer for
Yeah.
that matter.
Uh-huh.
So
Kiran is commenting on YouTube. We are still juggling between Excel screenshots and PowerPoint.
thank you for validating my point, Kiran.
That is actually validation, guys. I see your questions. We'll be answering it because they are more like um, GreyMetrics oriented. So
Okay.
we will discuss it after the this topic.
Okay. So, I mean, let's come to the money part. I mean, I think, are we leaving money on the table? I mean, are you agencies leaving money on the table? I mean, if you are wrangling between the spreadsheets and PowerPoints and everything else in the middle, I think you are taking a lot of time to create a report. Effectively, we've calculated in this way based on our discussions with a lot of agencies with an average dollar value of compensation per hour. We've pegged this number to be around $2,000 a month for an agency with 25 clients. And if the number of clients actually go up, the cost actually dramatically increases. And this is just counting the money, and this is just not even considering the kind of inefficiency that would actually creep in with all the manual work that goes on. This is just if you are spending 75 hours for reporting, you're losing $2,000, more than
That's
$2,000 a
crazy.
month. And that's, uh, you might not look at it that way. I think that's why I wanted to just put it in form of a number. I think so that you guys actually see it in that way.
Mm.
So guys, I mean, I think, this is important that, you actually consider, the cost of doing manual work. This is the cost of doing manual work.
I like what you wrote somewhere. I think it was like time saved is a money make, right?
Yeah, I keep saying that. Yeah.
I mean, it makes total sense.
Yeah. I mean, most agencies are actually leaving a lot of money on the table. I think, yeah, I think it would be great. I mean, if they could get over this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, I think, we've talked about everything. I mean, again, a lot of stuff, but uh, I think the whole point of sending a report is it should be simple to understand and easy to read. I think with all the manual work that we put in, I think we try to put a lot of data through, because we don't have the flexibility to pick and choose what you want to show, what you don't want to show, because you're doing screenshots or an Excel. Again, they tend to become difficult to read. They tend to become a bit difficult, and then that defeats the whole purpose. So, guys, I mean, so my suggestion to you is keep the report simple, easy to understand. I think from there, I think your life becomes more and more easier out there. So that's about it. So yeah.
All right. We have a couple questions. AB
Uh huh.
amazing. There's like really good and quick introduction and insight into a whole topic of reporting and how broken and inefficient it actually is. So tomorrow we are talking about how to reinvent the reporting, how to make it fun, how to make it working actually for your agency. So join at the same time tomorrow as well. And now we have a couple questions. First was from Arun, and
Mm-hmm.
Arun was asking, how does this compare to SuperMetrics?
Right. So two things actually. I mean, SuperMetrics mostly works with Google Data Studio. GreyMetrics is actually a direct reporting platform in itself. SuperMetrics lets you do a few things on Google Data Studio, but we let you choose a few metrics on each integration. We let you add it, we let you delete it, and we let you choose the way that you want to show it to your client. I mean, you can choose a long form report. A few agencies or few clients want to see a long form report, and a few clients want to show a very short, a one-page dashboard. So it lets you do two things. And again, we're also working on some things like live dashboards where you just share a URL with your client and it gets updated every 1 hour. But again, it's very much in the beta, so we are testing it out. So to answer the question, I think we talked about two different things. I think one pushes the data to Data Studio, and we do all the stuff here on GreyMetrics itself. So yeah, if you have any further questions, I mean, if Arun has any further questions, I mean, Arun, please feel free to book a call with me. I will leave a meeting link of mine out there. I think let's get on a call. I think if you have any specific requirement, I'd love to chat with you, try to understand your use case, and take it from there.
I love the approach. Maybe it's amazing. Like when you really want to be hands-on with customers, that's a great approach you have as a founder.
Yeah.
Okay, question from Zoom from Amit, and he's asking, what about Google Sheet add-on to give us the raw data?
Right. So let me try to answer this in a two-pronged manner. The first, I mean, there's like three different questions that we've got in the last few days, especially on the Google Sheet and data blending. I think I'll try to mix both questions in the same way. Google Sheets is a raw data, and then the idea is to blend that data, three, four data into one place and put it across. We're trying to see whether to solve this problem. I think here is our consideration today. We're trying to see whether we build this by ourselves on GreyMetrics, or should we take this to another platform where this all this can be done, but it doesn't add any other cost to the customers. Like I mean, if you buy the tool, and then if it doesn't add any other additional cost, but you can actually accomplish the same thing, it actually solves your problem both ways, right? So we're trying to address that problem, but here's my point. I think we are looking for more feedback on that. We're looking to talk to more customers to try to understand how exactly you're going to use this Google Sheet add-on. So it'll give us a very good idea about how to approach the problem. I think we can build both solutions. That shouldn't be a problem. But the idea is that which one would make more sense to the customer. That is you. That's the idea that we are coming here from.
Okay. So Amit, I hope that not we, but that AB answered your question.
Hey, Amit, again, feel free to let's talk about it. I mean, if you would like to book a call, I think I'll leave my meeting link here, and then I think or just I'll leave it on the Facebook group wherever you're comfortable. I think we can just book a call. Let me try to understand what your requirements are. I think let me try to address that. And I think we'll take it from there. The idea is to provide solutions, guys. I mean, we are here to provide solutions. The idea is that maybe we provide solution in maybe a way A or maybe a way B. But I want to understand the problem properly before we try to choose a solution A or B. So that's where I'm coming from. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Amit. I mean, I hope this answers your question.
I believe it does. Now,
okay. Cool.
Very long message from Victor. With multiple questions, so we will spend some time here, but questions are really on point. So his introduction, like paragraph or sentences: automatic multiple data source reporting is not new tech. We have complex business dashboard like Tableau, Power BI, Google Data Studio, to simplest one like reporting ninjas is SEMrush reporting, Raven tools. I searched and it's crowded market. So questions.
Right.
What problems that GreyMetrics like to solve that different from existing solution? Great question.
Yeah. So thanks, Victor. I mean, for that question. So I think it'll give me a chance to elaborate on the vision. That's the first, and why we chose this problem. The first one is, I think I clearly echo the point that that this is a slightly crowded market. I think there's a lot of players and all that stuff. But here's my point again. I mean, if you just look at the data, I just showed you that 90% of the data has been created in the last 2 years. Do you think this problem will be solved? The more complex problem will be solved by the existing tools? I hardly think so. That's one. There are a lot of complex tools like BI tools that are available. Victor, I completely agree on the point. But how easy is it for you to actually pull your marketing data or your own data into these platforms? Is it easy today or is it not easy today? So these are the two questions that we're trying to answer. And the goal of our company, basically the vision of our company, is to actually democratize your marketing data, to actually release it from the silos that it actually sits in, so that you can actually do all the complex tasks that you actually want to do today. This is our ultimate goal. So we believe that marketing data is going to get more complex. We believe that there's going to be more marketing data. We believe that the current solutions will not be able to solve the problem. Maybe they are solving it today, but with the current pace of the increasing data, they will not be able to solve the problem 2 years from now. So we want to be ready for that uh, from today. So that's how we started out. I hope that answers the question.
I hope so. We need to hear from Victor. So Victor, if you
Yeah.
answered your first question, let us know if it makes sense, or if not, we will. I will ask the question again,
Okay.
maybe a little bit in different way, and we will do the best to answer it. All right, another question from Victor.
Okay.
What's your product position?
Right. Right now, I think in the current format, the positioning is that this is a client reporting software for agencies. This is the current positioning. I mean, we are trying to solve this for the agencies because we're trying to achieve product market fit.
Mm-hmm.
We are a solution for agencies where if you have multiple clients and you are facing this problem of putting this data together, we are a solution for you. That's the current positioning of the company, and that's
Okay.
how that is reflected in the website that we put across, the content that we put across.
All right.
Okay.
Um, Another question: which existing tools that become your benchmark and hoping to get disrupted by your launch?
I'm not sure I can answer that question in a very fair way. I think I'll try to say that hey, I mean, if you are using three different tools, what I do is I'd suggest you to use our tool and try to see the difference. And I think you might be the best judge to answer which tools might get disrupted.
Okay.
So I think, I
Um,
mean, yeah.
Another question: will GreyMetrics integrate with Google Sheet?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I tried to answer the same question of
Yeah.
Amit. I think this is a bigger problem. I mean, it's not exactly Sheets or Excel. It's not exactly a one-phased problem. It's a multi-phased problem. With Sheet, I mean, with Sheets or Excel, what you actually want is you want more control on the data. You want to be able to filter it. You want to be able to blend it. You want to be able to do a 10 things out of it. So the idea is just not an integration per se. The idea is that how do you use this integration to build a solution for yourself. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to understand whether you just want a raw data and you just want to do everything with it, but what exactly are you going to do with it? How do we solve that problem? Like what
Mm-hmm.
comes after it? So that's the approach that we're taking. I mean, I'd love to, take Victor on a call. Victor, hey, I would love to jump on a call with you, try to understand, and then, take it from there.
Amazing. Another question. We have two more questions from Victor. Will
Okay.
there be a custom calculated field in brackets or formula in GreyMetrics, or is it just reporting the predefined metrics?
Right. Again, I direct this to the same previous question that previous question of Google Sheets. This encompasses the whole thing. I mean, Google Sheets, the formulas, and everything that comes with it. This is all in the same zone. So if we try to solve Google Sheets alone without considering all of these problems, that's the problem that we would face. We would solve just Sheets, and then we'd be left with formulas. So
Mm-hmm.
what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to address this as one thing, the wholesome solution basically. Uh, so the Excel, I mean, the sheets and the formulae are actually connected in a way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and last question from Victor. Do you integrate with Instagram API for reporting?
Yes, we do. We have Instagram business page integration, Instagram ads, Facebook ads. Like there are 22 integrations out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you can try them out. I think you can give us feedback if you want more metrics inside that same integration. We are happy to add them.
Yeah. All you have to do, guys, is go to GreyMetrics and try it out before launch.
Yeah. You can do
Okay,
that.
I see one last question from Amit on Zoom. Are
Okay.
there any SEO integrations like Ubersuggest, Moz, SEMrush, Google, PageSpeed, etc. in the works?
Okay. I'll answer one by one. Ubersuggest doesn't have an API today. I think we've checked that. So that would be slightly difficult for us to do. Moz, I think we've got a lot of feedback from folks that SEMrush and Ahrefs seem to be the right platform for us to integrate. This is the first time that I'm hearing about Moz, but I'm happy to consider that. SEMrush and Ahrefs seem to be the uh, most requested integrations by SEO folks. Google PageSpeed, I'm not entirely sure, if we could do that because that would fall into this SEO audit thing,
Yes.
and I think that's probably not on our radar right now.
And question from Arun on Facebook. Google Ads. Do you have Google Ads integration?
Yep, we do have Google Ads integration. Yeah.
Perfect. Guys, so if you don't have any other questions, we'll be live for a couple more minutes. I will be still monitoring the questions, but meanwhile, let me tell you what will continue tomorrow, what we'll be talking about tomorrow. So today we talked about marketing reports today and how you are probably doing it wrong. And tomorrow, sorry, we talk about how to transform your reporting game and grow your agency. So right now we talked about what you're doing wrong and how it's inefficient. And tomorrow we'll be talking about something more specific and how you can make it efficient. So if you want, join tomorrow as well because it will be very fruitful conversation as it's usual with our webinars. So if you want to join, guys, it's GreyMetrics.heysummit.com, and you will just land on this landing page. Hold on, I will show it to you. And you will just fill in your email address here. I'm already registered, so it's not so the field is not here, but just go here and register for next webinar tomorrow. So I'll stop sharing. I will check if we have some more questions. Victor just commented, haha. So Victor, if you wanna talk to AB, you can just schedule a call with him because as he mentioned, he would like to have a lot of feedback on the tool he's building. So yeah, and another comment.
Hey, is that on Facebook? Is that on Facebook? Okay.
Doesn't integrate with Ahrefs and SEMrush. It's paid API call. Most SEO user will rip you off. Okay.
Say that again.
Let me share my screen. We will show it on the screen. So this is the question. Doesn't integrate.
Hey, so we're not going to integrate with them as a paid API. I think we're going to integrate with them as a developer. So that would probably free us up a little bit. So we've already spoken to them. I think they have the separate plan, not in the data units that typical SEO is actually counted. So we've got that figured out, Victor. So that part wouldn't be a problem. So, but thanks for looking out for us. I think that's so nice of you.
Yeah, Victor. Thanks again. Yeah, you're really active in PitchGround and we appreciate it. Amazing. Guys, thanks a lot for all the questions. Arun, Kiran, Victor, on Zoom. Amit was asking a lot of questions. Thanks a lot. It was amazing. And don't forget, please, to join tomorrow when we are talking about how you can make reporting finally fun and not boring activity and make it time efficient so you save time and hence make more money. So, AB, is there anything else you would like to add to this conversation before we go offline?
Hey, this is wonderful. I mean, talking to you guys, I mean, answering your questions. I think this is the exact kind of feedback that I wanted to hear. I think the questions that we wanted to hear, questions that we wanted to answer. Actually, that's why we are here, and it's amazing to be a part of the first webinar of PitchGround in 2020.
Yeah,
so I'm really looking forward for tomorrow.
It was amazing talking to you, AB, as well. So yeah, let's talk tomorrow. Looking forward.
Let's talk tomorrow, Jakub.
All right.
Hey, have a nice day, guys.
Yeah, you too.
Have fun.
Bye-bye.